Of people out there, and I'm calling you all out, whether you're on TikTok or you're YouTube famous, whatever you think you are, and you act like you're untouchable. You're not untouchable. You're just like the rest of us. And I have one of the most down-to-earth influencers, journalists, television personalities I have ever met. I am staying close to this woman because when she was rocking it in Hollywood, I want to get invited to the party. So stay tuned.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. America will continue the dream.
So I am here with the incredible Whitney Ullman.
Thank you. Thank
How
you so
are you?
much. I'm doing well. How are you?
So I have to first thank you because you have been, we met you at the Atlantic City PR Council.
That's right.
Right? And you have stuck by our side from the jump.
Yeah. I think you guys are awesome.
So I appreciate that. And, you know, we didn't ask you to, and we didn't expect anything, but you have been part of pretty much everything we come out trying to do. And, you know, that's why when you told me you were like going to be on a movie set, I was like, oh, I got to stay close.
I know.
You're going to be a movie star. I don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
But you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. So
definitely.
You're not only a journalist who has been on the, you know, television news, like not like, you know, PBS public broadcast news, but like legit TV, like Fox, CBS out in Philly. Right.
Yes.
But you have your own brand. Oh hey,
Hey, that's my tagline.
That's your
my
tagline.
brand is Go To Whitney.
Go to
and
Whitney.
The City Pulse.
Okay.
But hey.
And then you also have basically, you know, I don't even know what it is. I guess it's an event, kind of an event, like what's going on.
Oh, right. Yes.
The website, the City Pulse.
I like to talk about all the things happening at the Jersey Shore.
Right. Okay. So you're multifaceted.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah, I've been doing that a long time. I realized I was looking at the history of it. I'm like, wow, can't believe it's been over a decade. More than that, 15 years.
Wow. And and you're going strong, and we love you. And you know, so give us give us a little bit of a background, but I definitely want to hear about your journey a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You ended up. So tell us a little bit about
wow, this is long. Well, I was born here in Atlantic City. So
daughter of Atlantic City.
Yeah,
okay.
you know. And I grew up poor, for lack of a better term. I always had to work to support myself. I was a hustler, you know, I would be buying loose leaf paper and tying ribbon in the holes and then going door to door and selling them as notebooks.
Oh, wow.
Or I would buy like a box of blow pops and then sell each one for $1. Or even in school, I got in trouble because I would buy a 12 pack of like Coca-Cola cans and then sell each one for $1. And I was always trying to make $1, you know what I mean? And I always had to work to support myself. So I did a lot. I worked in the library. I was shelving books when I was 14. That was one of my first jobs. Worked at Boston Market. And I was a telemarketer. I told people about their water infiltration systems, and they had sulfates and nitrates. I had no idea what I was talking about, but somehow got people in the door. And then I graduated with a finance degree, worked in the mortgage business. I mean, this is long story short, but well, let's say long story long. I worked in the mortgage business. I'm like, who's going to want a mortgage from a young girl? Who's going to want me to come to their house? And at those times too, it's like, yo, you have to go to people's homes and talk to them because I had a finance degree. And I'm like, who's going to listen to me? I don't even know my own financial advice. How am I going to give them advice? And I ended up working in the mortgage industry because I knew somebody when I went for the interview, and she basically was like, you should work here. We're making so much money. Right. And I was like, wow, because before that, while I was in college, I worked for a sales training company. We trained people how to be car salesmen. And it was like a machine. Like I was a telemarketer in a room, and we had to call all these places and try to get our sales people placed. So basically car sales dealerships would hire the company to have a trainer come out and train people how to be salespeople, but they could only hire so many people.
Right.
So they would hire 2 people, but there was like 8 people in the class. So 6 people had to be placed somewhere. So we would place them, but I had to help do what was called like turnover phone calls, where I was in a room with telemarketers, like trying to get people on the phone. And then I'd be like, do you mind talking to the manager? And then every time there was like a turnover, I would make $10. And so I was like on like a thing, like, oh, $10. And so to me, I was like, this is like great. And then one day the boss called me in the room and said, Whitney, I have to tell you something. And I was like, great, I'm getting fired. I didn't, and he was like, we really like you. We're firing everyone else. It was like it was like so opposite of what I thought. And then I felt weird because I'm like, how do I not tell the girl next to me that she's getting fired? And then I thought maybe it's a trust exercise and maybe he just wants to build my trust. I'm like, whatever, 19 at the time or something. So I never said anything and I felt bad, but I also felt cool that he trusted me. And that was one of my best bosses. I'll never forget him. And
it was good.
Yeah.
So I know one of our conversations you had also mentioned. So this is where I guess the leap, right? I'm gonna bring your story
bring
fast
me. Yes,
forward,
thank
right?
you. Yeah.
So
we can talk forever.
You had mentioned that you're a graduate of basically the SBDC program.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
Well, I got a lot of help from the Small Business Development Center at Stockton University. When I was first starting out in business. I absolutely believe in them. I love them. It was great for me, and I know it's great for a lot of people because it was a free service. Yeah. It was awesome, to go there and have them help you with your LLC and how to start a business and what resources are available.
So where's that connection? Because now when if we dial it back, here's SBDC, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm the entertainment reporter for Fox.
It's crazy
how Philly, so where's all this connecting? Because you made a business out of this.
Right. So essentially, fast forward, after I worked in the mortgage business, my company shut down, and during the whole economic downturn of the mortgage business, about that time. So I started in 2004. I started to go downhill around 2006, and then I was making jewelry, and I wanted to start a business, and that's when I started going to the SBDC to have them help me because I was known as this mortgage jewelry girl, and I wanted to turn it into a business. I know it was a thing, and so I wound up being pretty successful. I was doing home parties and with my own jewelry. It was a really cool concept I had. And I was having fun, but then at the same time, the mortgage, whole entire business went downhill. And I was I got to do something else. So I started networking and meeting all these other people. And I wound up getting the top 40 under 40 back in 2008. And that was put on by the Junior Chamber of Commerce, the JCs, which is a national organization. And the Atlantic City Weekly. So this is kind of the transition of how I started going into media because I always wanted to be a model or be out there, but I never could afford to go to New York. Plus I wasn't 5'8". I used to be modeling, not so much anymore. But yeah, I always wanted to do that. And so I won this top 40 under 40. And at the time, just to scale back a little bit, I was president of the NJABO, New Jersey Association of Women Business Owners for Atlantic and Cape May counties, because a girlfriend of mine was like, you should come join this business, this organization. That's another story. And I did. I became secretary and president. But when I became president of the JCs, after winning the top 40 under 40, they're like, we need young people. So I became president of the JCs. And that's when I started working closely with the Atlantic City Weekly the following year on the next top 40. And they're like, you should write for us. So I started writing a column. It was more like an advice column because I had all these cool experiences that had happened in my life.
Instead of Dear Abby.
Basically, I still want to do that. I think it's cool. I like to give people advice. I think it's funny. But yeah, so it was called the F Word actually, but for female.
Nice.
So it's kind of funky. And then it was Whitney's Radar eventually. And from there is when I started getting more into the media, and they had a segment called the Entertainment Minute, and they had a guy doing it. I'll just say we had a guy doing it. He was good, not great, but good. And so
he was no Whitney.
Yeah, he was no Whitney. And then I went and I auditioned, and then they hired me. And then that's kind of how it transitioned, because I started doing this entertainment segment, and it was like a dream of mine to always be on TV. And the fact that I got to do it in my hometown was so cool. And I started networking, and I actually had a show called Access AC Live, which was aired on WMCN TV, and we interviewed dignitaries, celebrities, nightclub owners, all these different people. And there was a Christmas party or a holiday party in Philly, and that's when I met Mike Jarek from Fox 29. But it was random. He just happened to be at this event, not at my event. He was at the venue, maybe. And I didn't know. But this is the thing. You always have to know your ask. So I just knew I had to say something to him. I didn't know I'd ever bump into him, but I was like, hi, I'm from New Jersey and I do a local segment. Would you be interested in having someone come on and do more regional entertainment? And he's like, I like you. He's like, give me a call after the holidays. And I was like, okay. And then I started second guessing. I'm like, why would he want me? There's all these people that are beautiful, blonde, whatever, why would they want me to do it? So I kind of started to say no. And then I'm like, whatever, what am I talking about? I could just, if he doesn't want me, he doesn't want me. If he does, he does. So I contacted him in the new year, and I met him at the Fox studios, and they wound up getting me on the program, and I wound up being a freelancer with them for over 10 years. And because of that, that's when I started doing more TV segments. I was doing a lot of celebrity interviews, and I was featured on a lot of major outlets. Gotta love the ice, you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, right.
I love
Listen,
the ice.
it's not a closed studio.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah,
It's no
so
Fox.
it's no Fox. It's no Fox, but it's fine. It's Fox enough. It's Foxy. So yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting, because here's what I'm taking away from your journey, right?
Yeah.
It's like a couple of things. One is you did see opportunity. Like
Yes.
when opportunity came, you didn't turn a blind eye, even
Right.
in the moments of second guessing yourself.
Right.
You didn't, right?
Always
So that's
take
number one.
opportunities. Yes.
Find it and go for it. And I would say maybe you didn't know it at the time, but it definitely, at least subconsciously, you're like, what do I have to lose? Like,
Exactly.
It's really a what do I have to lose
Yes.
proposition.
Yeah.
And then I also see, you said it several times, networking.
It's a big deal.
networking,
It's a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely, seeing the opportunities, taking the opportunities. What did you say? You have to know your ask.
Know your ask. That is huge when it comes to networking, because a lot of times people go to these networking events and they just talk to the people they know, or they go with their coworkers and they're in the corner talking to them.
Yeah.
No, you have to know what you're
Yeah.
there for, what type of client do you want, what type of business do you want or need, and then know how to ask for it for people, because when people understand what your needs are, then they're able to help you.
Yeah, and it's true. It's absolutely true. See, I'll go into a space of networking. Sometimes I'm just real chill. I observe. Like,
Yeah,
I need to
that's
observe.
okay.
And then I sort of select my target.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, and
Very
then it's like,
stealthy. I
yeah,
like it.
and sometimes I'm really obnoxious. Right? Sometimes I'm all over the place. Hey, I'm Eric. Right?
Yeah.
So, I think definitely is know who you are, but you have to know what you're there for.
Yes.
And I see you've done that. Your career
Yeah.
is going for that ask. I have a belief. It's you don't need anything, you want.
Mm.
Because the minute you say, "Oh, I need you to come on my show," it's like, I don't need you on my show.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
I want you.
I
on my
want
show,
you,
right?
yes.
I want to be
Mhm.
on TV. I want to do
True.
this. I want. And keep that sort of frame of mind, because I think that also builds that internal confidence.
Yeah.
You know what
It
I mean?
does,
I mean, correct me
sure.
if I'm wrong, but
No, you're right. I think so. I think there's definitely a big difference between needs and wants also, but I think there is that internal need to want to, help people and
You
want
just
to
brought it
grow your
back to want.
business. Yeah, but you brought it back to want. Yeah, exactly. It is true.
so. All right, so I really, and again, we adore you. I'm always gonna be like,
You're so great. Thank you
awesome.
so much. So complimentary.
No, it's the truth. Listen, if I thought you were an ass, I'd be like, yo, you're an ass. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I'm not.
I know.
I'm
I
not
feel like
afraid-
you would too.
Yeah,
so
I'm
I
not
feel
afraid
good
to
about
be
it.
like the guy. I'm not afraid of it. And what do I got
Right.
to lose?
Right.
You're
Yeah,
gonna be mad at me
exactly.
if you were behaving badly, what can you do
Yeah,
about it? But
right,
anyway,
right.
So one of the things I also take from this, and you didn't specifically say it, but in your actions, you were responsible for you and every move you made in this
Yes.
conversation, is what I heard. You didn't rely on someone necessarily to do it for you. It's like,
Yeah, in a way, right. But the thing is, I'm a big believer in what's the use of having a connection if they can't help you or if they can't do anything for you. I think people are always like, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't know. I believe in the power of connection and the power of using that connection to help with what you need as well. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I help so many people all the time, just even for simple things. Even recently, just getting a reservation at a restaurant where people are like, I don't want to. I'm like, whatever. I know the guy. So I text the guy. We're not friends. I don't talk to him every day. I was
Right.
like, hey, I have a friend of mine that really wants a reservation at your restaurant. Is it possible? It's a hard to get in restaurant in Atlantic City. And he was like, no problem. Got her in a Saturday night for her and her daughter's birthday, 4 people, because I had a connection, because I tapped into that connection.
Right.
But I made it happen,
yeah. And you're doing it just because you're a good person, and you're friendly and you want to help people, and
Right.
that's absolutely admirable. You're still here to make a living.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So
That's
and,
true.
And it sort of fits in what I call ethical capitalism, and equity advocacy is another term that was coined, where you're not trying to make one deal so that you could sail the world on your
Right.
34-foot sailboat. If they even make those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Sounds good though. We are at the marina. We can find out.
Find out with the yachts
Yeah,
right
I
outside.
know.
Right. But it's you're here to do that, and the reason I'm sort of segueing into this is because I see your social media, right? And you're on social, and I see you go to these bakeries and these restaurants and this
Yeah.
and that. And how much of that is you're paid as an influencer?
Right.
How much is that of you just being cool ass Whitney
I
on
know.
a day out with the husband? Like,
I know.
What-
See, that's a great question. First of all, I find it so funny because there's so many content creators, so many people. Oh, everyone always wants to know, how do I make money? How am I? Everyone, like, it's like an anomaly. Like, everyone's like, oh, how's Whitney? So here's the answer. Most places, I actually don't get paid, okay, to do that. I believe in content. Content is king.
Yes.
So I make content based off of what, I feel I want to make content off of. And then because of that content and because of, utilizing going to the restaurant and then, putting that into my editing expertise, that, it brings other people who pay to have me come
Sure.
and do things. So in a way, I would say about maybe 80% is not paid, and maybe 20% is like someone who's like, here's some money, if you come in, or not even monetary. It might be like, hey, I'm giving you a meal. But you'll notice, if you actually watch all my stuff, you'll see, like, sometimes I'm like, it's banging, you got to try it. That's when I really love it. But then I might say, oh, they served this, or the table had this. And I'm not like so excited. It means probably it wasn't that good, or I didn't have it really, or whatever. There's a lot of little nuances
we
in there.
got some behind the scenes
But
secrets
yeah, but because the thing is, I never want to put down a small business, although I do believe in being honest. So I don't want to promote something that I feel isn't good, because I know a lot of people, so many people go places and do things because of the stuff I post. They tell me all the time. So it's kind of like, I want to make sure I'm not steering people in the wrong direction. But also, if I feel like just because you make it, I don't like it, doesn't mean you won't like it.
Right. That's true. So, all right. So let me get this, because again,
I know there's so many things I want to say.
So
but
much, right? We're gonna have to have you again on the show, and do another. Maybe we'll just have to make a whole
yeah, like
Whitney's educational
yeah.
series. Right?
Yeah, I would love to do that actually.
So, the advice that for an aspiring, and I don't want to say content creator, I'm going to say an entrepreneur, right? An aspiring entrepreneur, and particularly I'm going to focus this on a woman, female entrepreneurs, right? Because I think no matter how hard we try to have this, level the playing field, it's still harder, right?
Yeah.
For women.
That's true.
What kind of advice can you give a young, hungry entrepreneur that is getting sucked into the bullshit of the internet? What kind of advice can you give them to get them on the right course?
Well, two things. One, we started off this interview talking about authenticity. That is key. Authenticity is key. When you are yourself, people will believe in you and people will want to work with you. When you're not authentic, people will not want to work with you. It's just the way it is. They will see right through that. And even if they don't, they eventually will. And as well as I do, negativity spreads. People are like, oh, we don't like that person. You shouldn't do business. Most people, when it's good, they're like, oh, I have a good person. But when it's negative, it spreads really bad. Yeah. It's horrible. So my advice to someone younger that's trying to do this is to just be authentic to who they are. But one of my favorite quotes is, a candle loses none of its light by lighting another candle. I firmly believe that. You could take a candle and light it, and I could light every other candle. I can light 100 candles and my flame is still burning. Right. So I believe in helping people and helping people with their initiatives, and it's not all about you, it's about us. It's about what can we do together. So if you can help another person, that's going to be where it's at.
And I appreciate that advice. And here you are.
And here I am.
You're helping me, and hopefully in some way we can help you.
Yeah.
And with that said, it's Go to Whitney.
Correct.
That's your social. That's all your social.
Everything's Go to Whitney.
Go to Whitney. GOTOWHITNEY.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the tagline's, oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
And then you have thecitypulse.com.
That's correct. Yes, The City Pulse.
Thecitypulse.com. That will be in the description below. All that'll be there. We'll be tagging you, etc.
Yeah.
So if you want to get some, before she's a movie star in Hollywood, get her now.
That's another whole story, right? We can talk about that.
So I go back to the beginning. Influencers and the attitude, YouTube famous BS, that's a waste of time. It's not real. This is a real person doing real things.
Thank you so much.
And being supportive of the community around her. And we're happy to be
you.
in this relationship with
Me
you
too.
and growing. So check Whitney out. Take this advice not with a grain of salt. Watch it again. Share it with somebody you know, because I very rarely say share our episodes, but this one, because you gave some good advice.
Thank you.
I want to share this with people. Remix this stuff and take the segments out that you give the great advice and share it.
Thank you.
So folks, go out there, make some shit happen, and do not let anyone snuff out your shine.
That's right. I like that. I like how you tied that in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
We're out.
That was so cool.
Great.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you so much.
This episode is brought to you by the National Center for Local Business and Workforce Development, a 501c3 not-for-profit organization dedicated to empowering small businesses and their communities. From launching your dream to scaling new heights, the National provides no-cost and low-cost guidance to help you succeed. The National complements existing resources, bridges gaps, and can offer support every step of the way. In addition to supporting entrepreneurs, the National is committed to building a skilled and thriving workforce. They help individuals explore career paths, enhance their skills, and connect with local job opportunities. Whether you're an entrepreneur seeking growth, a business owner searching for talented team members, or an individual striving for career advancement, the National Center for Local Business and Workforce Development is your partner in achieving success. Visit them at mynational.org for more information and to be notified of new programs.